It's time for thumbs up, thumbs down. It is simple, it's straightforward, and yet it is incredibly profound. Let's start with Wisconsin. Howard, the Badgers lead the nation in scoring defense, 12.7 points per game. Thumbs up or thumbs down, they will hold Purdue under 12.
Yeah, I think they will. A thumbs up for that one. I think without a doubt, this is a defense that's really elite, and technically they are sound. So it's going to really be, the pressure's going to be on that offensive line for Purdue to understand where that pressure's coming from. And David Blau will throw it around.
Yeah.
But he'll also throw it to the other team. So if he gets in a situation where he's under pressure, under duress, and he puts it up there, could bode well for that secondary, which is very, very underrated.
Oh, man, they're good. Yeah, we've seen them in person a few times. They're really good. Let me say this about Purdue. 6 straight games scoring at least 14 points.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a terrible offensive team aside from the turnovers.
Right.
The issue is they've had trouble stopping people, particularly in the second half. Okay, Indiana, 9 turnovers last 2 games. Thumbs up or thumbs down. They will turn it over at least 4 times against Michigan.
Oh, thumbs down. They're not going to turn it over that much. 4 times? No, not going to happen.
Well, they just turned it over 5 times last week and 4 the week before.
Well, let me just say this.
Okay.
Kevin Wilson's going to have a little sit down.
You think so?
Because he's been close in this game, right?
Yes, he
in
has.
the past.
Yes.
They've been effective running the football. They can't afford to turn this thing over. The defense has really been, and you've been on this, I got to give you credit. You've been on this defense.
Who was the first person who told you their defense was better?
You were the first one, and I paid no attention.
I know.
You got to be kidding.
Well, I have very little credibility,
I said,
let's
whatever.
be honest.
But really, this defense is playing with a new energy.
Yeah.
And they're really doing a terrific job, but you can't put them in bad situations. And turning the football over the way Richard Lago has at times puts this team in a bad situation. They got to run it, too.
They're -10 turnover margin in their losses this year, +4 in their wins. So that has gone a long way.
That's all you need to know, right?
Dictating whether they win or lose. Rodney Smith, he leads the Big Ten with 14 rushing touchdowns. Up or down? This is not a very high bar here. 1 touchdown against Northwestern.
Going down.
Really?
Going down on this one.
Why? Do tell.
I don't know.
It just seemed the thing to say.
You know, I think that it's still going to be difficult. And I think when you think about what Northwestern needs to be able to do, they're going to load the box. I think they know what this team is from an offensive standpoint, talking about Minnesota. That it's not a great passing attack. And I think they're going to have a lot of confidence in that secondary to be able to cover their guys. So they may be able to get that extra safety down. Rodney Smith is an unbelievable player.
He's fantastic.
I think he should be first team All Big Ten this year, along with Saquon Barkley. But he should be on that team. So, you know, man, you know what I just did? I just gave him something to shoot for.
There you go.
I just motivated you, young man.
Right, bulletin board material.
There you
He's had
go.
at least 1 touchdown in 8 of their 10 games this year.
Good.
How about this one? Speaking of fantastic players, Curtis Samuel is the most undervalued player in the Big Ten.
Without a doubt. Yeah.
So that's thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
That's enough. Yeah.
Double thumbs. I mean, he's over 700 yards receiving, I believe, over 600 yards. He's the only guy in the country 600 and 600 rushing and receiving. He's going to have a chance to get to 800 and 800, possibly. This guy can do it all. It's nothing that he can't do. He can line up in the backfield, tight formation, wherever. Put him in the slot, put him out wide. People have really had a difficult time trying to defend him. You know, he's not undervalued, you know, at Ohio State. They understand exactly what his true value is. But I think nationally, I don't think he gets the type of credit that he probably should as being a dynamic playmaker.
No, I would agree. I mean, I think when people talk about the great players in this league, it takes them a while to get to Curtis Samuel. And when you think about how dynamic he is, how versatile he is, that's really probably a mistake. Final one, thumbs up or thumbs down. We've been talking about this one throughout the show. Yeah. James Franklin is your Big Ten Coach of the Year.
I think he absolutely has to be on the list. Now, with that being said, you know, obviously Urban has done a tremendous job, but it's Ohio State. So they haven't had a Coach of the Year since Earl Bruce.
That's correct.
That's a whole nother discussion.
Yes.
You talk about
because this award is always about who does more than they are expected to do. In Ohio State, so I'm not saying it's right.
Right.
I'm just saying that's why. That's the explanation.
And I think you have to put Jim Harbaugh in that same category.
Yes.
So let's move those 2 guys over to the left for a moment.
All right.
Just to the left.
They're over here.
Yeah,
I'm looking at them.
I think you have to look at Paul Chris, and I think you have to look at James Franklin. And when you couple the injuries that he's had from a defensive standpoint, when you couple his needing to, for whatever reason, decide to go a different direction, you know, offensively he went a different direction. His defense coordinator decided to move on. 2 new coordinators, he still has held this thing together. And his players have continued to step up. And now they find themselves in a place that I don't think anybody thought that they would be. I mean, you have to give a lot of consideration for the job that Coach Franklin has done at Penn State.
I agree, 100%. Going to come down in the next 2 weeks as to whether or not he wins.
He can
but he is on a very short list.